The sun crested the horizon, casting a golden glow over the tranquil plains. Beneath a venerable Bodhi tree sat the Buddha, serene and poised in profound stillness. Around him, disciples gathered, their faces marked by questions and their hearts weighted with unspoken burdens. Among them, Ananda approached the Buddha hesitantly, his eyes filled with uncertainty and wonder. "What burdens you, traveler?" Buddha asked, his voice resonating like a delicate thread weaving through the fabric of existence. My words faltered, emotions surging like tides, spilling stories of longing, fear, and the relentless ache for understanding and meaning. "Ananda," he replied, "solitude is neither affliction nor burden, but a gateway to profound understanding and peace within oneself." He gestured to the soft wind, rustling through the leaves, its breath quiet and harmonious. "Consider the wind, Ananda," he continued, his tone gentle yet purposeful. "It roams the world, untethered, embracing mountains and oceans alike. Does it not carry connection wherever it goes, unfettered by ownership or demand?" The Buddha closed his eyes briefly, his expression serene, reflecting the vastness of his teachings. "Solitude is the still pond reflecting the universe, the quiet meadow alive with unseen symphonies," he explained thoughtfully. He turned his gaze back to Ananda, his voice steady yet imbued with warmth. "In solitude, the veil of distraction lifts, and we perceive the endless web connecting all life. Do you see, Ananda?" Ananda listened, his curiosity deepening, though doubt lingered like a shadow behind his eyes. "But Master," he queried, "if solitude brings connection, why do we long for companionship? Why does the heart yearn for others?" The Buddha's expression softened, as a gentle smile graced his face. "The heart longs, Ananda, not because it lacks, but because it remembers the truth of unity and interdependence." He recounted a story to illuminate his point, his voice as calming as a lullaby over rippling waters. "Long ago, a hermit dwelled in isolation, seeking peace and clarity amid the wilderness. Though alone, he observed the trees swaying in union with the wind. He heard the calls of birds resonating with unseen harmony." The Buddha paused briefly, letting the imagery settle among his disciples like leaves upon still water. This hermit came to see that his breath mirrored the rhythm of the world, binding him to it intimately. The streams he drank from whispered of lands he had never tread, yet belonged to him nonetheless. The disciples sat in quiet reflection, the weight of the story opening spaces in their thoughts and hearts. Through solitude, the hermit understood, the Buddha continued, that he was not separate from life, but an integral thread within its tapestry. The desires of the heart often stir the waters of life into chaos, clouding your vision, he gently cautioned. But how do we distinguish the desires that guide from those that lead astray? I asked with earnest curiosity. Yes, fear arises from misunderstanding solitude, mistaking it for disconnection or abandonment, he began, his tone soothing yet resolute. Solitude, he elaborated, is not the absence of others, but the presence of oneself in harmony with all that is. He pointed towards the vast sky above, unbroken in its expanse and limitless in its embrace. Just as the sky cradles the stars, solitude cradles our spirit, offering space to rediscover the essence of connection. He spoke of the hermit once more, emphasizing the revelations born from his years of communion with nature. The hermit realized that solitude teaches patience, for it mirrors the seasons turning, blossoms blooming, and rivers carving stone. The Buddha's voice grew quieter, like a breeze softening at dusk, yet his words carried immense weight. In the stillness of solitude, he found the rhythm of existence echoing his own heartbeat. Ananda and the other disciples sat in reverent silence, their doubts replaced with newfound clarity and introspection. Master, Ananda finally said, How do we embrace solitude without falling into the trap of loneliness? The Buddha regarded him with a gaze as vast and timeless as the universe itself. Buddha's tale of betrayal served not as lament but as a lesson, a testament to the resilience of compassion. The trials we face reflect the inner storms we must calm, he said, voice steady as branches swayed above. Do you hear, Ananda? He asked. The world speaks, and its voice is never silent. But the weeds of anger and regret seem relentless, overpowering the blossoms struggling to survive. I said mournfully, let go of the weeds. Relinquish their hold by forgiving. For forgiveness frees the spirit trapped in past storms, he said. Solitude is the space where one plants the seeds of mindfulness, compassion, and inner wisdom, he concluded. And through tending these seeds, one finds they bloom into connection with all things. The disciples opened their eyes, a tranquil stillness settling over their gathering as though the world itself held its breath. They no longer feared solitude but saw it as a companion, a teacher guiding them toward deeper truths. Master, how does one conquer treachery without succumbing to bitterness or despair? The Buddha nodded thoughtfully. Bitterness is a chain that binds us to suffering. Compassion breaks these chains, paving the road to freedom. In his calm voice, he began. The Buddha turned to his disciples, his voice carrying the same stillness as the lake before them. What is connection? He asked. The city trembled with fear, cries of panic ringing out, as the mighty beast charged toward me with blind fury. Master, did fear not cloud your heart? A disciple asked, wide-eyed, unable to imagine such composure amidst chaos. Indeed, Sariputta, he said, connection arises not only from commonality but also from the compassion we extend without expectation. He paused, his gaze now following the flight of a bird across the endless horizon. Consider this lake, the Buddha spoke, his voice steady and deliberate. Its waters touch the earth, the sky, and the souls of all who gaze upon it. Is it separate? The disciples reflected, their eyes searching the tranquil surface of the lake for answers. The Buddha continued, his tone infused with timeless wisdom. Just as the lake embraces all, connection demands we embrace each other as reflections of ourselves. He shared a tale from the past, his voice weaving a tapestry of narrative and truth. Two farmers lived on lands divided by conflict, their hearts filled with bitterness and suspicion. They quarreled, each blaming the other for woes inflicted upon them. Master, how did you face such slander without anger clouding your soul? Asked another disciple, his voice trembling. Truth stands unshaken, Buddha replied. Despite their anger, one farmer chose to build a bridge across their lands. Reaching towards his neighbor without conditions, the Buddha paused, his expression tranquil, allowing the story's weight to settle among his disciples. This act of connection transformed bitterness into understanding, rekindling harmony not only between them but across their villages. The disciples reflected on the story, their thoughts filled with images of bridges and walls, unity and division. Master, Sariputta asked, his voice tinged with curiosity, what gives us the courage to build bridges rather than walls? The Buddha turned to Sariputta, his gaze steady yet full of compassion. Courage, he said, comes from recognizing that division is illusion and love is the truth binding the hearts of all. He gestured to the lake once more, its surface undisturbed by the gentle breeze swaying through the nearby trees. Think of this lake, Sariputta, the Buddha said. Though divided by rocks, its waters flow freely, uniting again and again. Buddha spoke again. Through trials, the Sangha grew stronger, united by a shared purpose greater than personal grievances or fears. Connection transcends words and gestures. It blossoms where kindness dwells. Nourished by the truth of mutual existence, the disciples' hearts softened as the Buddha's teachings dissolved barriers within them. Master, another disciple queried, how do we cultivate compassion when anger and hurt burden our hearts? The Buddha regarded the disciple with a gaze as profound as the depths of the lake before them. Compassion, he replied, is born from seeing oneself in another, realizing that their suffering mirrors our own and binds us together. He shared another tale, illuminating his teachings through its timeless wisdom. A man, angry and wounded, sought revenge upon his neighbor. Believing himself wronged, a faction follows another path, Buddha continued. Devadatta's lure of severity has splintered some, but compassion remains our guide. This man, instead of seeking revenge, offered forgiveness, recognizing connection through shared vulnerability, which healed wounds not only in him but between them. The disciples reflected, their thoughts filled with images of forgiveness, their hearts stirred by the Buddha's teachings. Master, Sariputta spoke again. Is connection fragile? Does anger or fear sever the ties that bind us? The Buddha turned to him, his expression one of quiet assurance. Connection, he said, is neither fragile nor fleeting. It endures beyond anger and fear, for its roots lie in truth and love. He gestured to the lake once more, its surface now shimmering under the golden rays of the setting sun. The lake, he said, may face storms, yet its waters remain united, flowing despite disturbances. Connection perseveres, just as its depths do. The disciples sat in quiet reverence, their spirits absorbing the essence of the Buddha's words like water soaking into fertile soil. Even as Devadatta acted against me, I saw his pain, the suffering of ignorance clouding his noble intentions. Buddha shared, compassion never left my heart. Love for all beings, even those misguided, remained my guiding principle through these trials. One disciple ventured, Master, did his betrayal not anger you, seeing his attempts to disrupt and fragment the Sangha? Buddha shook his head gently. Anger clouds wisdom, blocks understanding, and chains us to the cycle of suffering we aim to escape. The morning air carried the symphony of life, chirping birds, rustling grass, and distant village sounds interwoven with nature's breath. The Buddha turned to the disciples, his gaze tender yet unwavering, and addressed them with timeless wisdom. Connection, he began, his voice as steady as the sun rising over distant peaks, is not always bound by physical proximity. Punna, the youngest disciple, stepped forward, his youthful curiosity gleaming in his eyes. Master, he asked, how do we remain connected across great distances? The Buddha gestured to the horizon, his fingers tracing invisible paths through the sky. The threads of connection, he said, are woven within the heart and transcend the boundaries of space and time. In that moment, I saw not a betrayer, but a soul bound by suffering, yearning for the freedom of peace. Buddha explained, to forgive him was not an act of approval but of liberation for both him and myself. Buddha continued softly, despite their physical separation, the noblemen's heartfelt prayers created an invisible bridge, uniting them in spirit. The disciples listened attentively, their hearts moved by the tale of love overcoming barriers. The past cannot be changed, but the future flows freely when unshackled from the chains of resentment, he added. Buddha's lessons wove through their minds, each word a thread in the tapestry of understanding and enlightenment. We cannot force others to follow the path, but our compassion may illuminate their way, even through their darkest hours, he said. The disciples nodded, their hearts swelling with inspiration, renewed in their commitment to the teachings of their wise master. He gestured to the sky, where a bird soared freely, its silhouette a testament to life's enduring connection. Consider the bird, the Buddha said, his tone thoughtful yet warm. Though it travels far, its wings carry the essence of unity wherever it flies. The disciples nodded in silent agreement, the imagery of the bird a powerful reflection of connection transcending boundaries. The Buddha shared another tale, his voice weaving lessons with the cadence of flowing water. A poet in a distant land wrote verses about a friend he had not seen for years. His words carried the essence of their bond. Bridging the gap of time and space, the disciples reflected on the poet's story, their minds filling with thoughts of loved ones separated by circumstance yet united in spirit. Master, Panna asked again, his curiosity undiminished, how do we nurture connection when silence surrounds us? The Buddha turned to him, his expression serene and luminous as the morning light cascading over the hills. In silence, he said, we find the voice of the heart, whispering truths that bind us to others with unseen threads. His words painted the image of silence as a canvas where connection flourishes. Unhindered by noise or distraction, the disciples closed their eyes, their breath mingling with the wind, attuning themselves to the silence within and around. The Buddha watched them quietly, his gaze as steady and compassionate as the mountains standing against time. Connection, he continued, is the echo of love, reverberating across the vastness of existence. The Buddha invited the disciples to open their hearts and hold loved ones in their thoughts, creating invisible bridges of unity. Distance, he said, is but a perception. The spirit knows no boundaries and thrives in connection's eternal flow. Panna, his heart touched by the teachings, remarked, Master, your words bring us closer to those we miss despite the miles between. The Buddha smiled gently, his face radiant with understanding and grace. Panna, he said, the love you hold within bridges the miles, nurturing connection through every moment of life. Another disciple added, his voice filled with admiration, Master, your teachings show us that we are never truly apart from those we cherish. The Buddha's gaze swept over the horizon, reflecting the infinite possibilities of connection spanning earth and sky. To love, he said, is to transcend boundaries, illuminating the threads of unity woven within all beings. He gestured to the distant villages, their outlines faint yet present, resonating with the hum of life's continuity. The disciples pondered the Buddha's teachings, their hearts swelling with gratitude and understanding. Master, Panna asked once more, his youthful eagerness shining through, can love mend relationships broken by time and pain? The Buddha turned to him, his eyes holding the wisdom of countless lifetimes and lessons. Love, he replied, is the healer of wounds, a force transcending time, rekindling bonds severed by hurt. He shared another tale, his voice carrying the cadence of compassion and truth. Two friends drifted apart due to misunderstanding, yet one chose to forgive, letting love bridge the rift between them. The disciples listened, their spirits lifted by the tale of reconciliation and love's power to overcome division. Love, the Buddha said, has the strength to unite even those separated by years of silence and miles of distance. His words resonated deeply within the disciples, sparking reflections of their own relationships and the possibility of healing. The Buddha's gaze rested on Panna, his youngest disciple, before sweeping over all gathered. Despair deepens compassion. Navigate by trusting your inner compass. Guided by love and mindfulness, he replied. The Buddha spoke once more, his words a culmination of wisdom and truth. We are together, he said, even when apart, for connection resides within us, an eternal flame guiding us toward unity. His teachings filled the air like the soft light illuminating the hilltop, reaching the hearts of all who listened. The disciples carried his words within, feeling connection not as an external force but as the essence of existence. The sun rose higher, its rays casting brilliance over the vast expanse, symbolizing the light of connection shining endlessly. The Buddha stood, his presence radiant and serene, guiding his disciples towards enlightenment through the truth of eternal unity. Kindness may not erase cruelty, but it weakens its grip, planting seeds of hope in the hearts it touches, Buddha said. His words painted a picture of hope, where even amidst the harshest conditions, the resilient blooms of compassion could emerge. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.